Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news.
Obviously, it's been almost 2 weeks since the release of the video of brother LaQuan McDonald in terms of what happened, him being shot down, shot 16 times by the Chicago police last October. I want to just go around the circle and, get your feedback. He was 17 years old. He was in and out of the facility I used to work at, Cook County Juvenile Temporary Detention Center. A lot of my former co-workers that are still there knew him very well and was able to speak about his character and the type of young man he was. What's some reaction?
Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay. How'd you feel? What's your thoughts? Any thoughts?
My mind was blown.
Okay.
To me, it just kind of looked like he was like drunk, because he was just like dancing around in the street.
Yeah, he was sort of dancing. He was skipping. That's some of the things they say he was known to do. He was just sort of like he was a kid, sort of silly, right? They say he had PCP in his system. He might have been on, but did that give them reason to shoot him?
No.
What's your thoughts?
I got a question. Did they like took the officer's job away?
So what now?
Is the officer in jail?
So that's a good question. All right. So the officer was formally charged the day before the video was released. All right. He was formally charged. So he was taken into custody. Then he went before the judge. The judge set his bail or his bond at $1.5 million. In the justice system, you're only required to pay 10% of whatever that bond is in order to be released. So what's 10% of 1.5 million? 150,000. And so by whatever means or resources, he posted bond. Somebody put up $150,000. So he's free right now, facing trial. As soon as he was charged and arrested, his wife started a GoFundMe page. And within like 3 or 4 hours, she raised $10,000 before GoFundMe took her account down. And I mention that because this man is on video, right? Shooting an unarmed, it could have been any one of you guys 16 times, right? As he was walking away. And in less than 5 hours, his wife was able to raise $10,000 for his defense, right? My point bringing that up is they support one another. A lot of times we don't. It's hard to get people to support what we're doing here, right?
So he didn't have a knife with him?
He had a knife, yeah.
But he didn't try to use it?
In their report, they said he poked the tire, cut a tire on the squad car. He did damage to windows. I want to say there was 6 other officers present. They all got guns, right? And cars and things like that, and have been trained in takedowns and all kind of stuff, right? I got issues with the fact that it was several other police officers there that were complicit and filed a false report saying that he was shot 1 time in the lung. And the autopsy report showed that he was shot 16 times.
And we can see that he was shot more than one time.
Right. They said within 6 seconds of that officer getting out his car, he started shooting. It's a lot of stories out there. Some people say that the officer celebrated after the kill, but that once he finished shooting, that he threw his arms up like as if this is a game. And it may be a game. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what happened, right? We don't know the conversations that was had. William Calloway is the activist, African-American brother, all right? He's the one that brought it to the attention of Brandon Smith, the journalist. They jointly filed the lawsuit to have the video released. But what we're finding out from their research is that since, I want to say 2000, maybe 8, 9, there's been 400 like police shootings. No discipline. No officers have been disciplined or said that there's been any misconduct. This has been the first time in 35 years of the Chicago Police Department, in the last 35 years, he's the first, Jason Van Dyke is the first officer on, on duty to be charged with murder.
The exact number, it was 356 police shootings, 17 deaths, no convictions of any officers.
Right. What's your thoughts?
I was in class the other day for one of my founding ideas classes, and we happened to bring up, a lot of the social issues that go on. And my professor, or teacher, whatever you want to call him, he brought up the mayor's aspect of it. How the video, if the video was released, around this time last year before, the elections, would Rahm have been elected mayor? And it made me think, what if he, swept it under the rug a little bit, and because when did this take place? Around
October.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, man, what if he swept this under the rug, and then, sucked in a lot of the black vote, just to get in. And now that it's here, a lot of people are thinking, like, man, why are we just now seeing this? So it just made me think a little bit, because I mean, this is ridiculous. I saw the video, the day that it came out, and I was astonished. I couldn't believe what had happened. You just shot a brother 16 times, and from what I saw, he posed no real threat, like you said.
Right.
7 other trained officers, armed officers.
Yeah. I mean, so somebody wrote an article. It was interesting. And they asked for people's opinion, right? So this is what they posed. It is in line with what you're thinking, what you're talking about as far as the mayor, the election, and everything. So we know in August of 2014, Mike Brown was shot and killed. Ferguson erupted, right? It did. Y'all remember that, right? This happened 2 months later in Chicago. So the person who did the post was saying or suggesting, was it in part trying to be responsible because there was the potential for a powder keg or ripple effect for cities to explode throughout the country. Mike Brown shot down. No video. Wasn't no video with Mike Brown. Right? No video. And then Ferguson exploded. 2 months later, this video come out in Chicago. So the guy said, was it in part responsible? And was it in part political? I could see being in a meeting with some executives and people and saying, you know what, the country is in a political powder keg, so there's potential for violence to erupt. May not want to release this right now. But they were forced to release it. If they hadn't been sued and forced to release it, we still wouldn't know. You did what I'm saying? Yeah. So that lets me know if that conversation was had, it was more of a political thing, like I need to get reelected. So the election was in February. It went to a runoff, if you remember. Right. He didn't win. He had a runoff with Chuy Garcia, right? Which was in April. 2 weeks after that, that's when they settled with the family. Once he was securely back in office, and that's what makes it look like it was a straight up cover up.
And they got another video about to come out.
Yeah.
From the other young man that was killed, 2 weeks prior?
2 weeks prior. Ronald Johnson. Yeah. Shot in the back as he was running away
from the office.
Right. Right.
With no weapon in his hand.
No weapon that we know of.
They
say he had a weapon after the fact. Systematically setting up African American men.
Was the what was it? The chemist or something? She was in cahoots with the prosecutor, and they were like 40,000 cases of her tampering with evidence to
ridiculous.
40,000 cases of her tampering with evidence to convict young men.
The judge who just went to prison for selling young juvenile black men and women
to the prison
system. I forgot what state it was in. So this stuff is real, guys. This stuff is, that's why me and Keith, we get up on Saturday morning because y'all got to be aware. Y'all have to be aware. That's why it's this Black Lives Matter movement, because what we're saying is clearly, and this supports it, to a lot of people, our lives don't matter.